Poland home. Archaeologists assume that Shanghai people bury their loved ones, bury their family member near their living place. And you can see the score grid on the skeleton. And archaeologists need to recover each skeleton, and they maybe use the different angles to take a picture. So put a score grid on the skeleton will make the record more accurate. And right still ahead, and today's weather is great, so you can see the sun and shadows on the walls. Okay, let's move to the next part, and scientific analysis. And Mason will introduce the way how archaeologists use it and analyze the human remains or artifacts.
Hi everyone, my name is Mason, and you can look at Hi, my name is Matt, and you can look at this clock. Did you find something different? Okay, you can see the clock is turned back, so it means archaeology have to find the past time about human. And now we go to the next location, the way of science. The way of science, the first way is carbon-14 dating. Archaeologists could use left carbon in animal or plant bodies to research the age of animals or plants. Because of plants got power from sunshine or carbon dioxide, so these things would leave the carbon into the plant body, and animals at the plant, carbon would enter the animal's body too. So archaeologists, according to these things, to check the age of animals or plants. The second way is the study of pollen. Because of any creatures have important musician which giving birth to offspring, so pollen is a way of giving birth to offspring. They had stronger outside and bit wide to go to anywhere. So archaeologists research this pollen from soil to reconstruct the environment when these pollen were created. And the third way is the research of human bone. And everyone can see there are three modules, but in fact they are the same. Archaeologists use the study of human bone to reconstruct these modules to show us. And the human bone also gives information to archaeologists by teeth. And teeth it shows us information about the age and what it is. The age is humans have behavior of changing teeth. So if the teeth didn't change, archaeologists could conjecture the people maybe was a children. And what it is because the cereal have more carbon hydrate in cereal. If the people have tooth decay because of carbon dioxide will result in tooth decay in our teeth. So people, if had the tooth decay, archaeologists could conjecture these people eat cereal more than means. And we can archaeologists, according to this scientific way, to reconstruct the environment of Shanghai people. And now we go to the next location, and Sophia will tell us what the environment when Shanghai people live.
Now I'm going to tell you something about still house. Still house were where Sanhong people had once lived in. They raised some piles on the ground and construct the shape of the houses. And that's also how the post hole, which is also equal to the colon hole mentioned in the excavation pits, was made. The post hole was made by the stem of a colon. At that time, the weather was always very wet, so the pollen, the stem parts are always soaked in the water, and it makes them become rotten easily. So after the wood become rotten, the hole they made will leave, and that's the post hole. So why do they want to live in this kind of higher place? And it's all because three main advantages. The first one is that it can help them prevent from flooding. Just I mentioned before, the weather was always very humid, and the place they live are near the Danshui River and the Strait of Taiwan. So after raining, the place will always get flooded. So if they live in a higher place, they will have no risk of getting flooded. And the second reason is that it can help them prevent from animal disturbance, like the wild pigs or some aggressive animals. And the last one is that it can help air circulate, so the room will become much cooler. As for these three people, you can see there's a woman on your left side who is weaving, and on your right side there are two men. The one is cooking taro. You know, taro just one kind of their main food source, and the other man is holding a pottery. And it shows that the Sanhong people had already know how to do the teamwork, and it's very advanced, since teamwork is just a step before building society. And any questions so far? And if not, let's move to the next part. It's talking about the burial practices. Okay. Hi everyone, and I'm Jade, and please follow me here. And now I'm introducing you the burial practices. And there are 287 burials were found in the Shisanghang site, and all of them were lying on their side, facing toward the northwest, which is also the direction to the ocean. And according to the archaeologists, this is because that the direction of ocean is where their ancestor came from. And another question is that why are they lying on their side? Okay, and it's a reason could be that in this position, they can save many space, many time, and also save manpower for other people to bury them. And Shisanghang people need to save space because they will bury their families near their house, which is the stilt house we mentioned before. And another reason for this position is because it's kind of like a baby in their mother's womb. So at the end of Shisanghang people's life, they are going back to their mother's embrace. And if you take a closer look, you can see beside them or around them, there will be many burial goods, such as the pottery or shells or ceramics or many other things Shisanghang people think is precious. This shows that Shisanghang people not only do the burial job, they also have spiritual culture. For them, people who are more important will get more burial goods with them. Is there any question for this? If not, we'll go into the last part here. Okay.
Hello, welcome. How are you guys all doing so far? Good? Okay, let's come a little closer. This is our last stop of this guided tour. So now we're looking at the anthropomorphic jar. This is the most unique and most treasured piece of artifact that we found from the Shisanghang prehistorical site. And if you look at this jar, do you see anything special about the jar? Anything? You can yell out the answer if you want.
That man or woman?
Yeah, there's a human face on it. And something, if you look a little bit closer, it's actually 3D. So you can see the 3D brows, the nose, the chin, and the ears, right? So unlike other civilizations from Taiwan, this is really unusual and uncommon, which is why this is the treasure of our museum. Moreover, if you look at the shape of it, you will see from the top the averted rim and a narrow neck, a narrow waist, and a coronation, as well as a foot rim. So, because you might know, have you guys made a pottery before? No? Never? Well, I guess you should try maybe after the tour. It's really fun. But it's actually pretty hard. So you can imagine in the past, for Sisahang people, it's 15,000 years ago that they didn't really have a lot of technology to make pottery. So they had to use their hands. And to form this shape is quite challenging. Okay, if you come a little bit closer to look at the texture of the anthropomorphic jar, you will see there's circular marks and lines on them on the edges of this jar. So archaeologists, they deduce that Sisahang people, they use reed or a fish bone to mark them. And you guys probably learned from Mason in the previous section of the tour that from scientific analysis, archaeologists were able to make that perception. And then if you look at the images down below, so this jar was found at the burial site of the Sisahang prehistorical site, and so they deduce that this jar wasn't used during their day-to-day